coming out of the crowd. Everybody knows?
I just feel like I should be standing up.
Well, sir, I love this particular piece of footage. It sells the scope of this film in a way that I had not seen before, and it looks gigantic.
I just saw it from kind of looking up at it, and good Lord, that's the first time I've seen it. But oh my gosh, I'm kind of shaking from it.
It's what's amazing is, I mean, you've been part of the modern evolution of the action film. You worked with Cameron on The Terminator. You worked with him again for Aliens, and those were so practical-based as films. Obviously, Lehman's got digital tools he's playing with here, but this looks very gritty and very real-world in terms of the way it feels. Can you talk about this one and sort of how it came together, the suits and the aliens and everything else?
Well, you know, at the end of the day, it's got to be a story with characters that that we all, as the audience, can emotionally relate to, and we want to go and we emotionally commit to, so that the stakes are high. We really feel these moments of suspense and fear that the characters are going through. I was finishing Two Guns, and I was in the New Mexican desert, and I got a call that there was interest in me for this movie that was called All You Need Is Kill. I didn't know much about it. I knew Tom Cruise was starring in it, and I knew Doug Liman was going to be the director. That was enough for me. I read the script. I thought, my God, this is like ancient Rome meets Cecil B. DeMille, and it's got its DNA and aliens, which I could relate to. I figured that's why Warner Brothers must have called me up. They needed somebody to go, game over, man!
Would your character in this film have put up with your character in Aliens?
My character in this film would have really enjoyed my character in Aliens, because this character I play kind of a country boy, platoon sergeant named Sergeant Bobby Farrell from Science Hill, Kentucky. And Tom's character is a little bit of a Hudson character when he comes into my platoon. It's on the eve of this huge counter-invasion where this alien horde has taken Europe, kind of like the Nazis in World War II. And the free countries of the world have formed a federation. They're going to try to mount this massive counterattack. And I've got this squad called J Squad. It's kind of like the Dirty Dozen. Tom's put into my platoon, and I'm told that he's a deserter who's been impersonating an officer, but instead of being down on him, I'm like, oh son, you're going to be born again. You're going to be born again in combat, or you're going to have your nuts blown off. And so I think Mike Hudson, who is very braggadocious, Tom's character comes into it like the later part of Hudson. You know, he's shitting green bananas from the beginning. And so he ends up in this eve of this invasion, and these things, we call them mimics, because not only are they deadly and they're ferocious and they're fast as hell and hard to kill, but they seem to be able to anticipate whatever we're going to do, so they're always one step ahead of us. And we go into this invasion, and it becomes like a slaughterhouse very quickly. And it becomes game over, man, really quick. But Tom's character wakes up again in this kind of Groundhog Day kind of fashion. You're not sure why he's reliving this day. And that's where it starts. Doug Liman was a director I've always found very innovative and got a great sense of humor. And this film has a real dark, sardonic sense of humor, and the tone is set very early on, so the audience are with it from the beginning. Even though our characters, Tom's character obviously is dealing with this weird world that he's found himself in, where he's reliving this day. But we don't know what's going on with him, so it gets weirder and weirder. But that's the first time I've seen the trailer, and man, I'm very excited to be a part of it.
Well, I know that it looks like for Tom, it's a really, really physical role, like having to wear the suit, having to get comfortable in it. Even if that's a prop suit, I'm sure it was still not an easy thing to wear and wield during the fighting scenes.
No, I got over to England. What was cool about this too for me was it was going to be shot in England, where we shot Aliens. We shot at the Leavesden studio, the Harry Potter studio in West London. I got over there. I just got off a plane. I was taking an all-night flight, transatlantic flight. I'm taken straight out to Leavesden, And I see Doug Lyman for about 5 minutes, and then I'm taken on a golf cart to this sound stage, and there's Tom in this empty sound stage, and he's trying on this prototype exosuit. There's about 20 techies and crew, and they're taking notes and seeing how the thing physically moves. The first thing he says, he goes, "Paxton, you been working out?" And I'm like, "This thing weighs 75 pounds. You know, I mean, little do I know I'm going to be like the Elephant Man when I come out of this damn thing. I'm not an animal. And I get back to the hotel that night and I go, "Man, you better get it out." Because Tom's been working out for 3 months already, getting ready for this thing, and it was torturous. The suits were very punishing. They had us, when we were on the set, they had these iron cages that were just iron frames, really, so that they could literally hang us on chains to take the weight off our shoulders. Oh, I went through hell to get my bonus.
Well, I've seen Emily Blunt work several times as well, and she seems like she's somebody who builds characters from the outside in very physically. Whether it's Adjustment Bureau, where she had to learn ballet for that, or this, where she's in combat with you guys. How is she as a co-star in this?
She's terrific. Unfortunately, I didn't have any scenes with her per se, but we all co-commiserated. You know, Tom was the ringleader who just said, come on, let's go, let's put on the suits," and we're all like, "Oh God, not again." But Emily said she got in the best shape of her life in this thing, and she was good to go, and I think that's what makes it a fun ride too, because it's not just a guy's action movie, it's a gal's action movie too, and she's as tough as they come in this thing. She gets dirty in this thing.
Well, we want to make sure we have some time for the folks here in the crowd to ask a few questions. Obviously, the last couple of weeks you've been part of a very special couple of episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Hail Hydra. You know, when that logo came up, when they replaced the S.H.I.E.L.D. logo with the Hydra logo, I just felt all warm and fuzzy. That's been a lot of fun. I was wondering when I was going to get my invitation to the Marvel party, and it finally came.
All right, let's go ahead and take the first question.
There's got to be one question out there.
Right here.
Is this on?
Yes.
All right, my question is, I saw the 2 films that you directed back in 2002 and 2005, and they were both really good movies. Do you ever plan to direct movies again, or do you want to stick to acting?
I desperately want to get back in the director's chair. I'm working on a project right now called The Bottoms. It's based on a great Gothic thriller by Joe R. Lansdale. It's been adapted by Brent Hanley, who wrote Frailty. So we're hoping to go in the fall with that. But yes, I've also took a John McLaughlin script. John wrote Hitchcock and worked on Black Swan, and we've turned it into a spec script he wrote called 7 Holes for Air that we've turned into a graphic novel that the company Arcana has put out in the last couple months, and I'm hoping that we get to turn that into a movie as well.
It's interesting, the system these days, it seems like it's harder to get original science fiction made. That's one of the reasons I'm excited about Edge of Tomorrow, is that it's not something that's a sequel
Yeah.
or seen before.
It's not,
its
yeah.
own thing.
I mean, the superhero movies have been incredible. I mean, the Marvel universe is amazing. But this is kind of a unique movie because even though there are parts, the idea of a time loop or the idea of an alien invasion into the world scenario, but it's been tweaked in a way that's very original. And so it's exciting. It's weird because there is this kind of Normandy invasion that opens the film, and we come back to it a lot before the film evolves past that moment. But the movie's actually opening, and I don't know if this was planned, but it's opening on the anniversary of D-Day, June 6th, which is kind of cool.
There'll be quizzes today.
I'm lucky if I can remember what I had for breakfast. Thanks for the memory.
Hi, Bill. It's Brian McQuarrie. I just wanted
Hello.
I wanted to thank you for being so kind to my father while he was ill. Bill sent him a beautiful package while he was in the hospital. And my question is, what attracts you to roles now? You did Big Love for so many years. What are you looking for in features?
I think at the end of the day, it's a filmmaker's medium, so I think you have to look at the director. But I don't necessarily care if it's Jim Cameron or somebody who's making their first film. I look for a language, I look for a passion and an understanding of the language of film. Also, obviously, the story. I don't care what the genre is. You know, I think when you read a screenplay, you're looking kind of at it from an actor or director point of view. You're looking at it kind of like a builder looks at architectural plans. So I always look to see what the bones are like of the building. But, you know, it's so capricious. You know, I'm kind of like Avis. You know, I've had to kind of navigate the waters of Hollywood for a long time, and sometimes opportunities come your way to try to capitalize on it. I've got a movie coming out in the fall that I've seen some of, and I'm really excited about it. It's just a small supporting role, but it's a movie called Nightcrawler. It was written and directed by Dan Gilroy and stars Jake Gyllenhaal and Rene Russo. And I saw some of that the other day, and I thought, God, how did they get this movie made? It's got kind of a subversive taxi driver angle to it, and shot by Robert Elswit, the great cinematographer, and James Newton Howard did the score. It's a very cool movie. It was a small part, but I thought, God, I just want to be a part of this. I feel much freer now because I'm not having to worry about being a lead in anything. So I've been kind of going back to the roles that kind of first got me notices with audiences, that, you know, kind of supporting roles, which are usually more colorful. So in the last couple of years, I really had a good time playing an antagonist to Denzel Washington and Mark Wahlberg in Two Guys. And then doing this role as opposite Tom Cruise. I think I've become the guy that supports the guy. I've got a movie coming out with John Hamm called $1 Million Arm that people seem to really be excited about. And I just finished a film called Term Life. It's a thriller with Vince Vaughn and Haley Steinfeld, and I play maybe not a very sympathetic character. I like, you know, you guys have been so good to me my whole career, been so supportive, and I think the roles that you guys first embraced me in were roles like Chet and Weird Science. You donkey dicks couldn't get laid in the morgue. How about a nice greasy pork sandwich served in a brioche? You know, of course, Aliens. You know, I came up doing these things, and as much as I enjoyed doing movies like Twister and oh my God, take it easy, take it easy. I'm kind of having kind of a renaissance in my career right now, going back to playing the supporting roles, and I have to say I'm really enjoying it. Let some other schmuck have to show up every day. You know, I get to come in and do the really colorful part and you know, party in London. You know, but I'm still very ambitious as an actor and a filmmaker. But it's kind of one of those things, you just never know what's going to happen to you. I just try to, you know, suit up and show up, and you just kind of got to let things take their course. And but I have to say, I so appreciate you guys' support. You guys have been so loyal to me through the years, and I get a lot of nice fan mail from all the roles. But it's always Aliens and Weird Science. I mean, come on. I did a simple plan.
I think we have time for one more.
Thanks, Brian.
Hi, Mr. Paxton. You've done so many iconic roles. I was just wondering, which role do you get asked about the most, and which is your personal favorite?
Well, I have to say, I get asked about a lot of movies a lot, but Tombstone's one that people seem to really like. True Lies is one that hard to live that one down. You know, I really set myself up for that one. And, just different ones. You just never know. The Dark Backward. Who knows these things? But Apollo 13 is certainly a movie people remember. I mean, it's not every day you can say, I'm so hungry I could eat the ass out of a dead rhinoceros. I mean, that's poetry. Author. It's been a crazy journey. Titanic, that wasn't too bad.
I mean, if James Cameron's going to be making 3 Avatar sequels, please tell me.
Come on, Jim.
You gotta be there somewhere.
Jim, come on.
Yeah.
I describe when Jim calls me up as like the bat phone ringing. You know, yes, Commissioner Gordon. What do you want to do? Set myself on fire? I'm there. I'm in. Fall off a building? Sure. Tell people I have a little dick? I'm in, Jim. I'm in. I'm in.
Start writing your letters. Let's make that happen, guys. One more time, everybody, please.